Hello and welcome back to my craft room. I've got such an exciting thing to show you today. Look at this humongous parcel I got. I know what it is. It's something I bought from eBay. If you're in our Discord community, you'll have seen me already show a little sneaky peek picture of part of what's in here. So I made the mistake of going onto eBay after a gin and tonic or three and bought something I really didn't need, but I just think it's going to be such a beautiful thing to have, and it is, you know, it was good value for money. I paid 40 quid for it. I bargained a bit. I got it down a little bit, but it was. I think it's going to be money well spent. I just shouldn't have done it. Really, shouldn't have done it. But hey, I'm not going to regret it. I'm going to enjoy it, and I think you might enjoy having a little look at this as well. I think this is going to be absolute heaven for all you slow stitchers out there. I've had to just slightly open the box already because I couldn't work out how to get into it. So I've used my sharp knife. Sort of leaving it open. There's a bit of newspaper packing in here. I think there's some newspaper, which I'm going to get rid of. And then there's this, which I think might be, yeah, that's part of it. And then there's this. Get rid of that box. I cannot wait to get into this. So let me show you. Now I'm a sucker for thread and haberdashery things, and I love history. I love old things, and this is all of those things in one parcel, because this is a shop counter display box back from the early 1900s, like maybe around 1910, 1912, with embroidery threads in it. The original embroidery threads. I'm talking to you as if you can see me talking to you and realise I haven't put the camera up. Yeah, the original embroidery threads are in here, and some original paperwork that was in there as well. She's put in for provenance, you know. So I'm filled to bits with it. I'm not going to waste energy feeling guilty about spending the money. I've done it now. Let's enjoy it. It's got kind of an old smell about it, but not in a mouldy old foisty way. It just smells a bit like old books or something. So it looks to be in I mean, it's battered. You can see it's battered. It's a little bit dogged there, but I just love that. Goose pimples are out. And along here, if you can see, Briggs County Crewel Silk Boiling Dyes. I think that says fibre gold card on there. Soft cord. What do you think? What do you think? Gold, is that gold or soft? And I think that's cord. Oh, I'm just so excited to see the inside of this. Oops, I can't lift it up. There we go. And good, so that's separate, it's not kind of hinged. So let's have a look at, oh look. Now in the photo these are all spread out nicely, so they kind of look more than they do there, but oh, they feel lovely. They really do feel like silk. Let's have a look at this. And the colours are all still so lovely and vibrant, because of course it's been closed up all this time. Look at these. Boiling dyes, dyed in all shades as on this card. Oh look. So we've got Philocell, number 1 Philocell, number 2 Philocell, County Crewel Silk, Pearl Rope Silk, Corona Floss Silk. The following brands of silk are also dyed in the above shades, with the exceptions as given below. Okay. Briggs Court Embroidery Silk. Oh, I just thought this would be such a lovely place to keep my slow stitching treasures, you know. Oh, I'm filled to bits with this. Just put that carefully down there. I might just mend because there's bits like here where that's kind of chewed away a little bit. I might just do something to preserve that, but I don't want to change it in any way really. I just love that. I can't get over how vibrant those colours are. Still, look at the range of colours. Beautiful. Feel lovely. So there are 2 trays. Oh, look. Wow, look at the colours. Look at the colours. Oh my word. Oh. Yum, 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 yum. We'll have a better look at them in a minute. That looks like it belongs in there, doesn't it? I mean, I assume somebody had this in their home, so they, probably used it to put to sort all their threads into. Did pretty much what we would all do with it, to be honest. Now, these must be the little documents that they said. So the lady that was sending it said that these papers were wrapped around some of the threads, and one of them is dated the 1800s and one's 1900s. So, oh, look, there's needles in there. I mean, they're too rusty to use, but how lovely to have them. This. Oh, so this is dated 31st of March 1932, so this is the newer of the documents, and this is a letter to Miss Cheetham, who must have been this is probably Miss Cheetham's box of threads. Oh my god, I love this. So she's obviously written to this company, the Spirella Company of Great Britain Limited, figure training and supporting garments, highest international honours and awards, Letchworth, Hertfordshire. I'll be interested. I might go on, because I've got an Ancestry account. I might go on and look up that address, see if I can find Miss Cheetham. Dear Miss Cheetham, referring to hose supporter buckle. Would you bother to write a letter about just a buckle? Well, we very much regretted to note the contents of your letter received on the 30th of March. Crikey, they've got back to her the next day, concerning one hose supporter taken from style 9065, sterling white, size 30 inches, belonging to your client, Mrs. Mould. Also, Miss Cheetham was the keeper of the shop that this came from. We thank you for so promptly submitting this for our inspection. We find that the hose supporter was not up to our usual standard. And moreover, we are not using this pattern at present, as you will note from the one with which we are replacing. We have found that it's much more satisfactory to have the elastic stitched under the buckle, as this simplifies matters when it's necessary to adjust the length of supporter to the client's needs. Oh, this is just so... It's quite simple to open the slide, unstitch the elastic, and after adjusting for length, cutting off any surplus there may be. With kind regards, we remain very truly yours, the Spirella Company of Great Britain. All typed on an old typewriter, a bit like the one I've got. No, much older than the one that I've got. Enclosing one hose supporter. You wouldn't get that service now, would you? Oh. And she's obviously just kept hold of that, and it's somewhere she's just put her needles in. Now, I don't know what these were. Probably the numbers of the threads, maybe? Yeah, this might have been where she was jotting down which ones needed topping up or something. That's the sort of thing we used to do when I was working in the shop. Just make a note of... Yeah, maybe. Or maybe she was counting. Maybe she stopped taking. Anyway, somehow this has ended up in the box wrapping some of the threads. Maybe there's some of the threads that were wrapped in it were those threads listed there. Who knows? And I love that some of those needles are there. Look at that. That one is so fine. I don't know if the head of it is... Yeah, the head of it is still there, but it's so fine. Oh, I love this. I love it. I love it already, and I haven't looked at everything yet. So I wish you could feel these silks. I hope they will all still be usable. I don't want to just leave them sat here. I want to do something with them. I'll have a closer look at them in a minute. So this is the older document. I'm sure she said this was 1800s, and you can see this would have been wrapped around some of the threads. Northwood Church Day and Sunday Schools, July 6th, 1896. Cheetham again. Oh, believe me, yours very faithfully, I suppose is that Reverend, or I thought they usually write Rev, but yeah, Vicar and Chairman of the Managers, Reverend Derbyshire Cheetham. So Miss Cheetham was probably his daughter. So I know she's a vicar's daughter. I'm going to have to go on Ancestry and find out all about the Cheethams. Oh, and see if there's a haberdashery shop. Oh, exciting. The vicarage, they've got the address there. What was the address on this one? Vicarage, Northwood. Stoke-on-Trent Staffs. This is Northwood. I don't know where Northwood is. Oh, I'm going to have to find out about these people. My goosebumps are all over the place. I love this kind of thing. It's just owning a little piece of history. And little did Miss Cheetham know that all these years later, so close on 100 years later, so that later letter was dated 1932, wasn't it? I mean, we're not, yeah, it's more than 90 years ago that she wrote that letter. This bag, the lady that was selling it did say there were a whole tangle of threads in the bottom. And she said she didn't chuck them out. She thought they might be good for something. I bet they're going to be good for something. And I suspect that's what's in here. Let's have a look at some of these first. Like I said, I so wish you could feel them. I hope they're not going to be all sort of disintegrating because they're old, because I know thread will do that sometimes. But to be honest, even if they're not up to being actually stitched with, I can couch them down. I think I can still include them. I can find a way to include them. They feel so beautiful. That's clearly silk. Boiling dye, philo. So that's this philo cell. I've never even heard of that. Briggs philo cell boiling dye. So that is really, really quite fine. It's not stranded like we get stranded cotton now. And I would say each one of those individual threads is probably about the same thickness as a stranded cotton though. This one has kind of the look of a stranded cotton, but I don't think it is. This is also saying philo cell. So there's number 1 and one number 2, wasn't there? Maybe one is finer than the other. It's going to be lovely to. I hope I can stitch with it because it's going to be so beautiful. It's got a lovely, just a soft kind of luster to it. But it doesn't feel like it'll be slippery. It looks like these are all saying this philo cell. Lovely, kind of all natural and kind of autumnal colours there. So this one, I love that. Look at that kind of, it looks slightly greener than it looks on the screen. It's kind of I think we would call that O'Donnell. And a lovely kind of soft, it's like a faded denim blue actually. Beautiful apricot colour. Oh, I've got those lovely vintage fabrics in the kind of duck egg and apricot colours, which I haven't had time to do anything with yet, but shade 149. So this is Cruel Silk. Oh, honestly, all of you who like me love this kind of thing would just be dribbling along with me now. Look at that. It's a beautiful texture. It's a bit thicker than the other one and it's got like a twist to it. It's going to look lovely stitched. And there's such beautiful colours. So I think, you know, just for the threads, I've probably got 40 quid's worth, as long as they're all kind of functional. But to have this piece of history, you know. So these are all that kind of Cruel Silk. Look at that gorgeous kind of magenta colour. Oh, it's not showing up very well on the camera. It's a slightly purpler than it looks there. I think you'd probably, yeah, it's magenta, really, yeah. Oh, the softness of it. So this is called, oh, it's still saying Cruel Silk. It just feels, this feels softer by quite a long way. It has a different feel to it. This is Court Embroidery Silk. So that's what this box is mainly for, I think, to display this. Beautiful peachy colour. Oh, it looks like more of the Cruel Silk. There's a lot of pieces here. Even if I only counted those at £1 a skein or something, which if you were to buy them now, you would pay that, wouldn't you? I've got more than 40 quid's worth. Let alone the little piece of history. So what's this big fat one here? So, oh, this is the court. Oh, that's, oh, right. This is, oh, I'm confused. So this is a whole bundle of these small skeins by the look of it. Yeah, this is the court embroidery again. I'm going to have to very carefully, when I want to use them, very carefully take them off. They're all knotted there. Separate them out to use. I don't know, what would you think if you had this? Would you be able to bring yourself to use them? Is it sacrilege to use them? I think it'd be nice to use them. There's no point in having them sit here and fester and then somebody chuck them away when I'm not here anymore. Might as well try and make something lovely with them and enjoy using them. Ooh, so we've got more of the cool silk, and is this the philo? Am I starting to get to know what they all are? Philocell, the cool silk, and is that the court silk? It's just got that such a lovely luster to it. If I show you these ones close up, but it doesn't feel like it will be slippery to work with. It's got a beautiful sheen. You can see it being reflected off. It's a lovely kind of antiquey peachy apricot-y kind of colour with a slight variation in it. Now, whether that was original or it's because it's faded a bit at some point, but I actually really love that. I'll have to very, very carefully, when I come to use these, separate them out and carefully wind them onto little bobbins so I don't get in a tangle and end up wasting it. And then there's this. Is that chenille? Can anybody tell me who knows more about these things than I do? Is this chenille? I mean, I love a chenille needle. I use them all the time, but I've never actually used anything like this. But this looks like what I think of as a chenille cloth. That's going to be lovely to experiment with, isn't it? Just going to give it, just experimentally, just give it a little tug. That did come apart then, but you wouldn't normally have to pull it that hard. I think I will be able to stitch with these. I might have to be a little bit careful, but beautiful. The colours are just gorgeous and so vibrant still. Look at those. Beautiful. Should we have a look at the bottom layer? I think these are all... Well, this one's a bit fatter. There's no label on it. It's definitely fatter, and it's got a twist to it. Let's get that to focus. There we go. Oops. That's also a little bit fatter, and again no label on it. The colour's just gorgeous, and it's variegated, isn't it? And that can't have been from fading or whatever, because it's all through. Yeah, I reckon that's meant to be variegated. This one's really thick. Look at that. I'll probably couch that down. There seem to be 3 different thicknesses of that one at least. Oh, there is a bit more of this, so it might tell me what it is. Fodel embroidery. It's not saying it's chenille, but maybe if you know what you're talking about, it's so obvious they don't need to put that on the label. That actually looks like 2 different colours there. This one's more red, this one's more rusty. Well, on the camera you can't really see. This is a lovely soft red. It's not as scarlety as it's looking there. It's a lovely soft, almost slightly faded looking red, and this is more rusty. Fibrone wood pulp yarn. Ooh, haven't heard of that, but it's rather lovely. Oh, I'm not getting the colours again. It's I don't know how to describe the colour. Dusky pink, I suppose. Yeah. In 2 different shades, or is it variegated? A little bit there, little snippets there. We don't throw these little snippets away. It just makes me feel how, you know, she's probably part way through a project, and it's like, oh, I've used that little bit, I'll put that there, you know. These little, where you just end up winding up the little bits like that. It's lush. It's a lovely wine red colour. My camera is not helping me today. They look so gorgeous. I'll see if I can get some photos tomorrow. Oh, this is this stranded or is it all one? It's stranded, but it looks like more than 6 strands, I think. I think there's 8 or 10 strands in that. This one's in a bit of a mess, but I'm sure I can retrieve bits of it and manage to make use of it. But this is definitely like a stranded cotton, but more strands than we're used to. You can see there. Anything else I've missed in there? Love this chenille. I'm calling it chenille. Don't really know. Love this one. It's such a pretty kind of warm pink, that one. Really, really lovely. Love these mustardy colours. I saw something in there that I missed just now. This one. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, some of these are a right mess, but I can still pull out enough of a length to make use of them. I'm sure I can. It might take a little bit of patience. Oh, this is just lush. This must be this wood pulp. Penelope fibre. Penelope fibre, lighter than silk. Beautiful colours. Absolutely fabulous. Love this. Oh, I've been going on for ages already. Shall we have a look and see what's in the... This is the tangle of threads, I'm assuming, that she said was at the bottom. Let's move that out of the way for a minute. And we'll have a look at this tangle of threads. Oh. I'll bring you down a bit so we can... There's a lot there. And I will definitely make use of this one way or another. I know I can make use of this. There's more of that filocell. It's an interesting way to have it stored, isn't it? We don't get them anymore. Oh, there's a needle. Oh, look at the needle. It's like a tapestry needle. Blunt point, large eye. It might have been a chenille needle that's kind of lost its point. That's a really interesting. I love that. I love this card. Stranded. Maybe there wasn't a kind of, now it always tends to be the 6 strands, doesn't it? Maybe it just wasn't standardised then. Or maybe this is just meant to be used all as one. I don't know. Oh, there's a little bit of tatted lace here, look. Tiny, tiny bit of tatted lace. Funnily enough, tatting something that's on my list to have a go at very soon. I've got some tatting shuttles on the way. I have got an old tatting shuttle, but I wanted to... I can't get that off now. But look, can you see that beautiful little piece of tatted lace? I think I can definitely work through these. And little piece, see that little piece? I can definitely make use of these for sure. I love the little bits of labels. Oh, look at this. Ooh. And that's 1 and 3pence halfpenny, is it? No, 1 and 3pence, yeah, 1 shilling and 3.5 old pence. 1 and 3pence halfpenny, I think that's how we used to say it, with a pin stuck in it. I love that. Oh. We've got some little... See, this is what my tangler threads are. This is bigger than my tangler threads. And this apparently was all just shoved in the bottom of the box. But it's like an exaggerated version of what my tangler threads ends up like when I'm working. I would have imagined ladies in those days would have been more tidy and organised, but maybe not. Yeah, I think I can spend a happy few hours listening to an audiobook and sorting through these threads and just winding them onto little bobbins. And there are some of them are quite big pieces like that. And this, look at that glorious green. It's a bit yellower than it looks there. Cool. That lovely chunky cord there. Yum. Delicious. There's no card or anything in from the people I bought these from, and they haven't got their kind of shop name on there, but they seem to mostly have doll's house things, miniatures and things actually. And I came across this just because I went on looking for, I think I put in embroidery threads and just ticked the pre-used thing, because then sometimes you get people who are clearing out a stash of embroidery threads and you get them at a good price. I wasn't expecting to find something that was pre-used as long ago as this. Oh, look at these. That's an interesting little holder, is that? No, is that plastic or is it I think it's plastic. Yeah, probably quite early plastic though. Yeah, interesting way to store your threads, isn't it? I shouldn't have done it, but I'm kind of glad I did. I'm thrilled to bits to have these letters as well, just to give me a feel of the people who've owned this before. I'm definitely going to find out about Miss Cheetham, who I think was a vicar's daughter, and see who else was living at the address and where her shop was. Ooh. Thrilled to bits with that, absolutely thrilled to bits. I think we'll have that as my thumbnail. I just think the box itself will be a lovely way to store fabric journals, little pieces of stitchery treasures that people have sent me, and that kind of thing. So even when I've used the threads, it'll be a lovely box to keep with all that history behind it. Get my muggins out of the way. Well, what do you think? If you're anything like me, I think you'd have been very tempted by this as well. I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'm really glad I did. I will thoroughly enjoy using these and making some beautiful things with them, and I will also enjoy finding out about Miss Cheetham. In fact, I might go and do that right now, because now I've thought of it, I can't wait. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed that little peek. I will see you again really soon. I've nearly finished doing my squares now. I've got about 6 or 8 left to do and send out hopefully on Monday, and then I'm done. Not bad, because we're still a couple of weeks away from the deadline, so I'm quite pleased with that. I've still got my art swaps to do, but they won't take me so long. So I will be back tomorrow or the next day, and with some new ideas to share with you. I hope you enjoyed watching that. I'll post some more. I'll take some pictures of these in daylight tomorrow and post them in the Facebook group and in the Discord community. I'll put links to the Discord community and the Facebook group as always below, so do come and join us if you haven't already, and you can have a look at these, and you can meet up with everybody and show us what you're creating. Hopefully I'll see you in there. If not, I'll see you again on here really soon. Bye. Oh.